Did you say 420 beats a minute?
I did. I told you they were fast.
That's ludicrous.
Welcome back to the Middle of Culture. I am one of your co-hosts, Peter.
And I'm your other host, Eden.
Eden, before we started recording officially, you were telling me that it is colder than crap out there in Iowa.
It is. You know, one of the beautiful things about being this terribly landlocked is that the swings are all over the place. So today it was in the 40s. We got some rain, a lot of snow melted. It was really nice to finally get some of this stuck on snow. You know, we had probably 6 or 7 inches and it's down to probably like 2. The grass is poking through the snow in various and sundry spots now.
Okay.
And then about 4:30, the wind said, no. Wind advisory came, winter storm warning came. It's currently 14 degrees and windy, feels like 23 degrees below zero.
Yep.
So it's not fun out there.
Nope.
And so, of course, before we start recording, I'm like, well, I'll let the dogs out so that, you know, they can get their wiggles out. They can do their business. The other dogs all go out. Mr. Loki, our old man dog, goes outside, just is off having fun in the snow. Uh-huh. And I'm standing out there like, bro, I'm dying here. What are you doing, bro? And eventually Cassie had to like put on boots and go like kick him in the butt to get him to come inside. Not literally, but like figuratively go usher him into the door because he's just having too much fun out there. And we're like, bro, you are going to get frostbite. You're going to burn your little toesies off, brother.
Yeah. No kidding.
He's a dumb dog. I love him. He's a dumb dog. Anyway, how you doing?
You know, I'm hanging in there. It's getting close to the end of the year, which is just a welcome thing. I'm in that stretch where all I really want is just January to be here. And realistically, quietly, just between us and those who are listening, I'm just trying to get to now the 10th of January because we've got that pesky little wedding, you know, in that on the 9th of January. So yeah, I'm just kind of trying to get to there.
You got a busy few weeks, I bet.
Yeah, no, it is going to be, but that's all right. That's all right. Well, what have you been checking out lately? Anything interesting?
Yeah. So here's a funny thing. So I am a Redditor for better or worse, because I do think Reddit is a terrible website. Don't get it twisted. Is it, however, maybe the best social media site right now in 2025? Also, yes.
Oh, 100%. I agree with you completely.
Which sucks because I think Reddit is miserable. But if you want to spend time online and not want to kill yourself, Reddit is the only place you can go today in 2025.
I mean, I will say if you have a carefully curated collection of meme accounts, stupid video stuff, and metal bands, and that's the vast majority of your Instagram feed, Instagram can still be fairly fun.
I would have to take your word for it. I deleted all of my Meta accounts many years ago at this point and refused to make any more.
And that is entirely understandable and something I support.
But regardless, I'm on Reddit. I'm farting around. I'm in a subreddit, and someone says, hey, I accidentally got 2 copies of the 3rd volume of the manga adaptation of There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless, which I don't know if we've talked about here, is a pretty fun book series.
Okay.
But someone was like, hey, volume 3 up for free to anyone who wants it. I'll even pay for the shipping. And I was like, I don't need it. If anyone else claims it, that's cool. But if 3 or 4 hours from now no one has claimed it, I'll say, hey, send it my way. 34 hours go by, no one's claimed it, and I say, sure, send it my way, because I've got the first one, and I've been meaning to get more, so sure, this will fill in a nice gap. And then, you know, we get into the DMs, and this person says to me, hey, do you want anything else out of this box? And shows me a box of manga. Oh. And I saw all 9 volumes of the Kase-san series, and I was like, you know what? I have been meaning to read the Kase-san books. So if you'd like to mail me all 9 of those, please. So, I like split shipping with him. I was even like
Sure.
willing to pay the whole shipping, but he said, no, we'll do halvesies. And halvesies of Canadian shipping. So it was cheaper for me than it was for him.
Yeah.
But regardless, I got those in this last week, and I'm about 6 books through the 9 that are out so far. The series is called Kase-san and ... because the first 5 books are all Kase-san and something. Kase-san and Morning Glories, Kase-san and a bento, Kase-san and an apron. And it's just like a really kind of fun, quiet romance book that has some of the funniest faces I've ever seen. Like, the faces that the mangaka draws are just off the chart. And I'm having a very fun time with it. It is 2 girls that both need to talk to each other more than worry about their relationship. It's one of those things where it's like, kids, communication is key. You gotta talk to each other. If you think things aren't going well with your girlfriend, or if you can't figure out where are things at, are you flirting with that other person? Because we're not actually, go talk to her. Go talk to her, bud. Anyway, it's been very fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. The first 5 books are them in high school, and then they changed the name of the series in book 6. And then they're both in college together. I'm having a fun time. But yeah, that's been really, really fun. I also read another one that we got in at the shop the other day, and I had never heard of it. It was one that the boss saw the cover of, obviously, and was like, I think I'll buy this. It's called Chainsmoker Cat. And
Okay.
it is about an anthropomorphic cat girl who is the dirt worst person. Just like lives in her filth in this apartment while she chain smokes. Like, and it's a gross comic. It is gross because it is showing how gross this person is, like to such a degree that she accidentally starts a fire on her mattress. And so the only solution, because her water is off because she's not been paying her bills, is to piss on it. So of course she has to pee on the fire to put it out. Or, at one point she's out of matches, or she's out of butane in her lighter. So she's like, well, I'm going to use the spark from the lighter to try to light a fart, and then that will light my cigarette that I'm holding in my tail. And so of course she lights her tail on fire. Sure, it's that kind of stupid stuff. And like everyone in her life, like her younger sister, her landlord, they're all just like, you are the most disgusting creature that has ever lived. You have got to stop. And she doesn't. And will she ever get better? I don't think so. I think she will wallow in her filth, because that's what she did for the whole first volume. But it was pretty entertaining while being very gross.
Okay. Very good.
And that's kind of it. It's been pretty light for me. I'm still playing Where Winds Meet. I'm having a good time. I've wrapped up the 2 big main storylines so far. So now I'm just doing some of the smaller side quests and stuff. But it's still really, really fun. It had an update earlier this week, and I don't know if I mentioned, but this is like set in like a wuxia Chinese setting. So there's lots of sects that you can join, different like, affiliations of people. And I'm currently not aligned with any of them. But I wanted to maybe join one of them. There's this one called Velvet Shade. And basically the pitch is, what if it's a bunch of hot, evil people? And I'm like, I love when hot, evil people. So let's go. And so I want to figure out how to join this new sect that just came out with the new update. It turns out what you have to do, this is so silly. Like, some of the sects are really easy to join. You want to join the like healing sect, you walk up and you say, hey, can I join you guys? And they say, sure, come on in, be a healer. You want to join the hot, evil spies, you have to get married in game to one of the other one of the other players. You have to get divorced. And then, because you have been betrayed by divorce, that's the only way that you can join. That's when you get the hint to how you could potentially join the evil hot people sect. So that means I got to find someone to marry me? So I don't know. I have a couple of friends that I have in a local Discord have started playing the game apparently. And one of them was like, sure, I'll marry you so we can get divorced so you can join the evil hot people guild. And I was like, cool. Get a little further in the story and then let's go to the marriage tree and then get divorced immediately after. So anyway, I might be getting married and divorced in Where Winds Meet pretty soon here. Anyway, What you been up to?
I haven't been up to a lot new. I am still working on the Three-Body Problem and Gödel, Escher, Bach. Those are still the books I'm reading. I did recently.
I have to say, shout out to my friend Shep, who sometimes listens to the podcast. Her daughter Escher is named after that book because she read that book when she was pregnant with Escher, and that is why Escher is named Escher. It's because of Gödel, Escher, Bach.
Very cool. Very cool.
So shouts out.
Shout out. No, it's again, I'm still enjoying it. That is a book that it is read a few pages at night, a few times a week. This isn't
Absolutely.
I'm sitting down and I'm reading a lot. In Three-Body Problem, the crux, it's a little, I wouldn't say confusing, but it's one of those that very much at the beginning, you're kind of sitting here going, okay, what's the point? What's the story? What's happening? There's all these things.
Sure.
And now I'm into the meat of it where it is clear what's happening and it's interesting. I am enjoying it. I think that it's a fun read and continuing to just kind of plug along at that. The other book I kind of did start is they just recently this year released, in fact, I think it was this month it came out, was a workbook for atomic habits. Okay. And the idea is there's a bunch of pages and you can download them, they give you the link to download kind of the PDF pages, but it's a bunch of pages to just kind of use to process as you're focusing on a habit and say, okay, how can I link this? What can I do this? How does this tie into my identity? And so I've been slacking a lot in some of my habits. There's a lot of places where I look at it and go, hey, I'd like to tighten this up. I'd like to do better. And so I started going through that, and it gives you kind of a condensed version of the principles in the book Atomic Habits, which again, I enjoyed. It didn't blow me away, but I think that it's a decent book. And so I've been working on that a little bit, which has been decent. It's been good. In terms of music, there's usually not much coming out this time of year, really.
Sure.
No big changes here, although there is one single that came out, and that is the new single "Carrion Ladder" from the band Archspire. I think I've talked about Archspire before here. They are a ridiculous technical death metal band that is, I think, they really are probably the fastest tech death band in the world right now, writing and playing music. But the thing I always like about Archspire is it isn't just that they're going to be fast and ridiculously technical. There's moments in every song where the real melody is allowed to kind of breathe, or they recognize you can't handle, well, I mean, you can, but it's going to be a little fatiguing if you just have 4 minutes straight of 420 plus beats per minute. And so they'll have little moments in the song where it backs off a little bit, lets you kind of catch your breath before it comes back in and hits you at.
Did you say 420 beats a minute?
I did. I told you they were fast.
That's ludicrous. I have never heard this band. I have never heard this band, and I don't think I'll enjoy this band, but I think I need to go hear it just to say I've heard 420 beats a second.
I mean, I don't know if Carrion Ladder reaches that, but I think that is the tempo of the last track off their previous album, Bleed the Future.
Okay. And well, I mean, I guess if you're going to bleed the future, you might as well do it at 400 beats a minute.
Yeah. So they're again, I appreciate that. I really appreciate the fact that they recognize that what they're doing is a little ridiculous and it's a little over the top. And you can tell from their videos in particular that they are not taking themselves seriously in any way, shape, or form. I mean, they know that they are incredibly good musicians, but they also are having fun. And I appreciate
Okay.
that. So the single came out. This is interesting. Archspire, and we've seen this in a lot of other places in music, and I think it's indicative of a bigger issue in the world today in many ways. And that is, oh, hey, guess what? Capitalism kind of actually can suck in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And
Welcome,
so,
comrade.
of course, what did Archspire do with their preparation for their next album? They said, you know what? We're going to self-fund this thing. And so they did. They did a Kickstarter. And of course, I backed it at the get the vinyl and all this kind of fun stuff.
Sure.
And it allows them to be able to get it done, but not be tied to the music industrial complex, that we see right now. So,
Sure.
So good for them. And the album's coming out in 2026. It's all recorded, but they released this first single, and it's fun. It sounds silly to say it's fun, but like it starts with, everybody I'm sure is familiar with, is it Rap God, that Eminem song that's like super fast, whatever, I don't know, or something.
I think so.
It's basic.
I'm not an Eminem person, so I don't really know.
Obviously, me either. But I will say Carrion Ladder starts with basically the death metal equivalent of that, which is just, again, it's just kind of fun. So that's been the main big music thing. And then the other thing I've been getting into is, we talked, the Apple Music Replay came out, and I'm just, again, enjoying that playlist and going, yeah, there isn't a single song that pops up on that Apple Music Replay playlist that I'm like, how did you get on here? Every single song that's popping up there, I'm going, yeah, I can see that you are one of the top 100 songs I listened to this last year.
They earned their spots.
Yeah, they earned their spots. Final thing I'll mention is I've been playing some more of, again, kind of those same shorter, I would say more casual games, Ball Pit and Megabonk. Ball Pit, fun. Progressing with some of the characters. Megabonk is probably the one I put more time into, and I'm really enjoying Megabonk. I bounced off it a little bit the first few times I was playing because I'm like, man, maybe I just really suck at this game. And then something clicked, and I was like, oh, okay, I gotcha. And I've been having a lot of fun with that, unlocking new characters, just doing runs. And again, like Vampire Survivors, the runs are basically timed. You're going to either find the boss, defeat the boss in the time, and then use that portal to go to the next stage of that world, or you're going to get to a point where the final swarm comes, and just like in Vampire Survivors, you will not survive the final swarm. It will kill you.
Sure.
And so I've been playing that some more and enjoying that. And I'm sitting there. I know at the Game Awards, Larian announced Divinity, and they're saying
the thing. I don't like the Divinity games. I'm just going to say it. I don't like them.
Well, so I haven't played that much of them. But the reason I mention it is, they're talking about, it's going to be bigger than Baldur's Gate 3.
Gross.
And then I see people talking about, I think it was probably on Reddit, people talking about, oh yeah, I've played Baldur's Gate 3 30 times through, and there's still things I haven't uncovered. And
Gross.
I don't want to do any of that, but it has really got me kind of going, do I want to play Baldur's Gate 3? Is now the time I fire up Baldur's Gate 3 for real?
Because you've never really stuck the time into it, right? You've
started...
probably fiddled with it. You downloaded it. You created a character. You played for a few hours, and then you were like, I'll come back to this when it's done, because it was probably early access.
That's exactly right. So since it's been officially launched and then patched multiple times and is in what I can only assume is basically considered its final state, I have not gone in to play it. And I'm feeling the pull, and I'm trying to decide if I'm going to take the dive or not.
Well, good luck to you if you do. I saw the Steam sale just started earlier today, and I looked, and it's not $30 yet, so I'm not buying that game yet.
That's totally fair. Totally fair. I'm looking at the Steam sale, and I'm going, oh, The Outer Worlds 2 is on sale. Do I want to get that? And then I remember, but I haven't finished The Outer Worlds 1, so maybe I should play that instead of Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah. So who knows? I don't know. Again, I have all these ideas of the bigger story-based, meatier game that I want to dive into. And I'm still scared, so I'm holding off. But
Fair.
so, well, this week we'll go ahead and move on to our topic for the week. I thought again we would do something a little. Look, I'll just be honest. This was kind of what can we do that's fairly low effort coming in, because sometimes it's fun to have homework for the pod. And other times you kind of want to have, maybe let's not have too much homework. And right now we're in the let's minimize the homework time of the year.
True.
So last week we did our tier list of or 2 weeks ago, I guess we did our tier list of our fast food and fast casual. This week, what I thought I'd do is I went and I pulled the number one. It was the top song from the Billboard year-end Hot 100 chart. It's from the year 1980 till 1999. And what I thought we would do is we would go through and we're going to do a draft of sorts. So we're going to end up picking our 10, hopefully. We'll see. We're going to get the 10 out of these 20 that we each want on our playlist, but understanding that because this is a draft, if the other person takes it, you're SOL. You don't get it as well.
Here's the thing. I listened to all these. I put together the playlist, in order. I listened to it all day today to prep myself for this. There are some real bangers, and there's some real stinkers.
Stinkers. Yes, there are.
I have a sneaking suspicion what might be the last one picked, but I guess we'll see.
Okay. Well, to decide who gets to go first, I'm going to flip a coin in Dice by Peacock, and I'm going to have you call it. So, flipping the coin, and you call heads, tails.
Heads.
It is heads.
Yes.
So,
yes.
Eden, you're round one. What is your first pick? And if you pick my hopeful first pick, I'm going to cry a little bit. But
I don't know what your hopeful first pick is going to be.
You won the toss, so you get to go.
There are some bangers on here, but I would be lying to myself and to the world if I did not pick. Oh God, now I'm torn between two. I'm gonna pray you don't pick the other one, and I'm gonna say 1993's "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston is one of the greatest songs ever written. Dolly kicks it out of the park with the writing, and then, hey, Dolly's version's good. I ain't out here to say Dolly Parton's rendition of that song isn't good, but then Whitney Houston takes it and says, hey, Dolly, hold my beer. I'm going to create the second greatest song of all time for one of these big I'm in a movie songs. Second only to How Is It Not on This List? My God in Heaven, why did this 1997 song win? Where is My Heart Will Go On? That should have been 95.
That should have been there.
That's the only other one that's in contention with My Heart Will Go On. I Will Always Love You, My Heart Will Go On. That's it. Those are the two great songs of the 90s. So I'm going with I Will Always Love You.
They are.
Whitney Houston, Gone Too Soon, one of the greats, maybe the top 5 voices of all time in singing.
Yep.
She's great. Anyway,
yep.
What are you picking? Are you mad about that? Was that your choice?
No, I'm not. I was getting nervous. Good. And then when you didn't, because I'll be honest, when I looked at this list, I thought to myself, okay, there is one song that I absolutely desperately want. And the rest, I'll be okay. I'll be okay if I don't get the other ones. But thank goodness I get 1984's When Doves Cry by Prince.
Listen, that's number 3 on my favorites. Yeah. It's number 3.
It is.
Purple Rain is, Purple Rain's incredible. The thing about Purple Rain is from tip to toe, it's one of the greatest albums ever made.
Yeah. I will be honest and say I'm not a huge Prince fan. I don't love a lot of his music, but When Doves Cry is an absolutely, I mean, it is a little eerie. It is kind of haunting in a lot of ways. It is one of those pieces of music that I will never forget the first time I heard it and going, this doesn't sound like what else is on the radio in 1984. This is leaps and bounds above what I was used to hearing on the radio in 1984. Yeah. So
that's the thing about Prince. Even if you're not a big Prince fan, you listen to him and you're like, oh, this guy is so much better than everyone else who's putting out music at the same time. Like,
oh yeah,
he's
no
just
question.
one of the greatest performers and songwriters to ever live.
Yes. So
even if I don't listen to him very often, you got to give the credit where the credit is due, and it is due to him.
Well, I'm thrilled that I got it. So thank you for picking. I mean, you picked an absolute. I mean, an absolute classic track. So I was glad that this was left for me. It's
great.
Okay, you're round two.
I'm happy to see that I get my number 2 pick, which is, of course, do you believe in love after love after love after love? Because Cher's Believe, one of the all-time, like, talk about a comeback. Cher, one of the big artists of the 70s, huge TV show everywhere. 80s, she's big, she's in the movies. 90s, Cher disappears. She's gone. She's washed up. Nobody cares about Cher anymore.
It's true.
And then 1999 comes along, and the song Believe comes out, and everyone remembers, oh, damn, Cher's pretty good, huh?
Yep.
She's incredible. And it's maybe my favorite Cher song. So I have to take Believe.
Okay. I mean, it is, like you said, especially because I'm a little older than you. I remember our mother being a huge fan of the Sonny and Cher show and everything. And then, Cher was, then she became kind of a movie star-ish sort of thing, sort of person in like the 80s. And then nothing, just faded, gone.
But what a renaissance to come back with Believe. And then all of the other singles off that album also bangers. Like, that album is like a neo-disco classic.
Yeah.
And it's great. I love the whole album. Believe is incredible. I'm happy to have it in my team.
That is an excellent, excellent choice. I will be interested to see if I noticed something as I was putting in my dream top 10 picks, and we'll see if you pick up on this pattern that we're seeing here as I throw out my number 2 pick, and that is 1980's "Call Me" by Blondie.
Here's the thing. This might be a generational divide. I think you're picking more 80s, and I've gone 90s so far. But "Call Me,"
you have absolutely figured out where I'm coming from.
Call Me is a top 5 for me. Out of these 20, Call Me is a top 5.
Oh, it's an incredible song. I mean, Blondie, just great music. Not only just Call Me, but Call Me is a stone cold classic, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah. It's a stunner. It's tip to toe. You know, when that guitar kicks in, you're just like, whoa, we're doing something special here.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, and it's this perfect blend of, it definitely can fit in on the pop channels, the pop radio stations, but at the same time, it's got enough of an edge that it's going to be on some of the rock radio stations. And Blondie has this kind of pop punk attitude about it that makes that music just, again, I think it really does sort of cross a lot of genre divides there in a way that makes it, for me, again, a kind of a timeless song.
The thing that told me that "Call Me" was a very good song was when I heard it tuned and slowed the fuck down to half speed and down 2 octaves, and the song still rips when it sounds like a sludge metal track. And you're wow,
I believe that.
You got it. You nailed it.
I believe that. Okay, your 3rd pick.
All right, I am going to the 80s for this one because I am taking Wham's "Careless Whisperer."
Oh, that was close on my list of next choices. That is.
I have to. Here's the thing. George Michael, he's on here twice for a reason.
It is true. It is true.
He is the 80s. Like, Depeche Mode and George Michael, that's the 80s to me, baby. Yeah. And Depeche Mode never quite got quite as popular. They didn't have a number 1 hit, but that sound, like those 2 bands are to me. Do you want spooky, scary 80s? Depeche Mode. Do you want sexy, fun 80s? Wham or George Michael's solo work?
Yeah, that is a good one. And I'll be honest, I love that. I love that this song has managed to live on because of the little saxophone bit.
The thing is it's one of the greatest saxophone. You don't even like saxophone. It was
I
high on
hate
your
saxophone.
list. So that speaks to how good it is, because you hate the saxophone, but that it's like one of the greatest things you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah.
It's great. Oh,
it's great.
What a good song.
It is great.
What a
So
good
again,
song.
you figured out my theme here. So I am sticking to the 80s, and I'm going to 1987's Walk Like an Egyptian, The Bangles.
Okay. You can have this one. I've never been a huge Bangles fan.
You know, I was never a huge Bangles fan, but there was something about, and this is where I think in 1987, I'm 11 years old. In 1987, you're 3 years old, right? Am I doing that? No, three, four. Yeah, doing them.
Yeah.
So for me at 11 years old, it was, I mean, you could buy little teeny single, like little itty bitty single micro cassettes. It was this whole big thing where they wanted to sell you, plug in a pair of headphones, and it was a micro little cassette thing. And one of the first songs that they released in this stupid thing that I wanted badly but never got was Walk Like an Egyptian. That's just how big of a hit this was. And I mean, all over the place. Walking, you're at school and people are singing it, and all of a sudden people are doing the little dance in the halls from school. So Walk Like an Egyptian is definitely one that I wanted to snag.
Plus, it's one of those ones that you go to your friend's house. We didn't have cable, but you go to your friend's house and MTV is on, and the Walk Like an Egyptian video starts playing. You're like, look at all these hotties with naughty bodies. I'm into this song.
But, that cannot be denied. That cannot be
It's a bunch of
denied.
hotties.
All right. What else you
All
got?
right. I mean, here's the thing. I have to take it because it is a song that I have a lot of fondness for, not because of itself, like I do because it's a good song. Most of my fondness for it comes, however, from Weird Albert's parody of it.
Oh, no.
And that is Coolio's Gangsta's Paradise.
That was going to be my next pick.
We've been spending most of our lives living in a gangsta paradise, Peter.
It's true. It's true.
Or churn the butter once or twice, living in an Amish paradise, because that's what I really think of. When that beat drops, I'm like, oh, I'm thinking about raising barns.
As you should.
Raise a barn on Monday, soon I'll raise a nutter. That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah. No,
It's a But the thing is, Coolio's version, very good. I like Coolio. Dangerous Minds is not a good movie. I'm not out here saying the White Savior movie is a good movie. None of them are. But the song's good. The song's real good.
Yep. That is a good one.
Sorry
like I
to
say.
to usurp you.
That is totally okay. That is fair. You are allowed to snipe. So I've got to see and decide what am I going to take next. I'm going to take as my number 4 pick. I'm going to do the 90s, like schmaltzy power ballad. And I'm picking Everything I Do It For You by Bryan Adams.
Thank you.
Do I love the song?
Thank you for taking this bullet.
Do I love the song? No. But does it have, and this is where I think the age is really important, because in 1991, I'm 15. And in 1991, I am slow dancing to Everything I Do It For You at school and church dances, while they've got the video with scenes from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves playing. And so I have this song is indelibly etched in my mind because of slow dancing with girls that I might have had a thing for in 1991 and 1992 due to this song.
And 1993 and 1994, and they were still playing it when I was going to school dances in the late 90s and early 2000s, because it's
true.
One
it's
of
true.
those.
It
and
is
you're dancing,
one of those.
and your hands are on their waist, and their hands are on your shoulder, and you can make sure you got a Bible's width between you.
Right.
You're good to go.
Of course.
You're good to go.
All right. What is your number 5?
Here's the thing. We're starting to get to the dicier territory where I feel like there's only 2 actually good songs left.
Okay.
And then it becomes a lot of garbage. So I'm going to take 1990s Hold On by Wilson Phillips.
Okay. All right.
I love it. It's a classic. It feels, it is that cusp between the 80s and the 90s to me. It's got a great a chorus that gets stuck in your head forever. I love it. It's a great song.
Yeah. No, it is. And it is an absolute earworm. Very, very infectious. Wasn't on my list, but I cannot deny that it didn't surprise me. It was one of those where as I was looking through the list and coming across each song, I got to 1990 and I went, yep, that probably deserves to be there.
Yeah, there are a couple on here that when we get to them, people will be like, that was the top song from that year?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, what's your next one?
All right. My number 5, I think I'm going to take it. And again, this is just because of where I was in life and everything. And that is going to be 1983's Every Breath You Take by The Police.
Good. I hate this song, so I'm glad you're taking it.
It's super creepy. It's supposed to be.
It is.
And that's actually kind of why I like it, because this is not, I'm still fascinated that this was the song that when this would get played at the slow dance, you're like, ew, I don't want to dance to this song. I don't want to
dance to this song. Yeah.
No. So there's that aspect of it that I actually enjoy. I think it's fun that it is so misunderstood so frequently.
How did a song that is about being a creepy stalker become the number 1 song of 1983?
I mean, The Police were huge. And this was
it's Sting. It's a year before he gets all sexy in Dune.
Uh-huh. And like I say, The Police have some absolute bangers. The Police have, I will say this, The Police have many much, much better songs than this one.
Oh, for sure.
But I think that this was because it is that almost that pseudo ballad. It seems like a ballad until again you listen to it and you're like, oh, this isn't like a heartwarming ballad. This is a like, oh, I'm going to end up with a knife in between my shoulder blades ballad.
Yeah. It's one of those ones that when you listen to it, it sounds good. Like it's got a good melody. There's a reason why people have taken that, like R&B artists took that melody, rewrote the words to be an actual love song, and it also charted really well.
Yes.
Because the melody feels like an R&B song, feels like a love song. It's really easy to turn it into one instead of the creep fest that it is.
Yep. All right. What is your number 6?
I mean, I'm going to take the other George Michael song because you haven't taken it yet. So I'm taking Faith, 1988's Faith. And I think for me personally, that's the end of the good songs.
Okay.
We're halfway through this list. I can't think of any of these other ones that I'm like, I like that song. Every other one, it's like it's fine or ugh.
Okay. So
we'll see how the back half of this goes.
We'll see. It's going to be hard. This is where it starts to get hard. This is we're going to make ourselves pick 10. And I kind of wish we only had to pick 5.
It's true. Here's the thing I'll say about Faith. I like it. It's a good song. It's catchy. Again, when I think of the song, do I think of the George Michael version of the song? No, I do not. I think of the Limp Bizkit cover.
Good. I was hoping that's what you were going to say.
Because it's the best song Limp Bizkit ever recorded.
Yeah.
Damning with faint praise, I know, but it's a catchy version of a catchy song.
It is. I cannot deny that. So, like you said, a little bit slim pickings here. I'm actually going to go with 1981's Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was listening to this song and I was like, what's with this vocal fry?
That's the thing is she has an unusual voice. She does have a lot of vocal fry in there. And I don't like this song per se, but this is another one of those songs that you weren't around at the time, but our mother loved this song.
Did she?
Yes. So
this doesn't seem like a Becky song to me.
Oh, I heard Betty Davis Eyes by Kim Carnes so much when I was a little kid.
this is the generational divide again. The micro generational divide. When I was, a teen tween and in between, is when Mom made her turn from pop to country.
Yes.
And so Mom was not playing Betty Davis eyes when I was growing up. She was playing Garth Brooks.
Yeah, I escaped that era for the most part.
Well, good for you.
Okay, number 7.
Okay, let me look at this list. Someone's got to. I'm gonna dive on the grenade for both of us here. I'm taking 1996's La Macarena.
Duh, thank goodness.
This song sucks. I hate it. But
I hate it too.
I would rather listen to the Macarena than most of the other things still on this list. So
yeah. See, the Macarena was big when I was in Guatemala. So again, it's that association. So this is connected to me walking the filthy streets of Guatemala and
hearing that song everywhere,
having dogs come at us and all sorts of stuff. So the Macarena just for me is not tied with, again, I loved a lot of my time in Guatemala. Wonderful, fond memories of a lot of it. But this song, not one of those.
That's fair. I think it's a funny dance. It's funny to do the dance.
Yeah.
It's funny that in 2025, everyone still knows the dance.
It's true.
But yes, I do remember going to junior high dances and seeing a whole lot of people doing the Macarena.
Yeah, and I think I unfortunately skipped out on that because obviously in 96 I had graduated, and so I was done with that. And by the time I was back and going to school in 97 and 98, I think that the impetus to do that dance at every function had passed. So I managed to dodge that.
Well, it didn't have, I'm surprised it didn't have quite the staying power that like the chicken dance did.
Yeah.
Or things like that. Because or the 2 claps this time, 1 clap this time, step to the right. Like everyone knows those 2, but they still get played when you go to like an event or whatever and everyone groans and then everyone goes and does the dance. They don't really play the Macarena at those events anymore.
No, they don't. Okay, well, let's see. My number 7.
What are you taking? What's your number 7?
So I don't feel like I'm having to throw myself on a grenade yet. This is not a great song, but again, I kind of like it. And when I listened to it, I read it and I thought, I don't remember exactly what this is. And then as soon as I started listening to it, I thought, oh, yeah, I got this one. And that is 1989's Look Away by Chicago.
I put that on the playlist. It started playing and I said, what is this? And I did not recognize this song. I genuinely had no memory of ever having heard this song before. And I'm sure I did. It was the number 1 song of the year. Because there are other ones that were on this list that I was like, I don't know what that is. And then it started playing and I said, oh yeah, I guess I do know that song. I didn't know this song. Yeah. Genuinely, I did not know this song.
No, it is definitely not Chicago's best song by any stretch of the imagination. No, but it has that undeniable late 80s Chicago power ballad schmaltz to it, where again, it just has enough of Chicago's DNA as kind of a rock band, though not always. They were kind of rock, kind of funk, kind of a lot of different things. But it's got enough of Chicago's DNA in there that it was going to hit big on the AOR radio stations. But again, being the power ballad, it's going to get played on all your other top 40 stations and stuff too. So I remember hearing this song many a time.
I bet.
Okay, what's your number 8?
It's Ace of Base's The Sign.
Okay.
It's not Ace of Base's best song, but it's a good song, I guess, ?
Can I tell you my big problem with Ace of Base? I remember hearing name of the band, Ace of Base, and in my head, because I hadn't seen it, it was bass, B-A-S-S, and I was expecting some real thumping drum bass kind of electronica stuff, and then I heard The Sign and I thought, well, this song certainly does not live up to my expectation.
Can I be honest with you that until you said this and I looked down at my phone and saw the way that it was spelled, I thought it was bass, B-A-S-S, till this exact moment. And I just thought it did not deliver on the promise of the name.
No, and that was the problem is you hear Ace of Base and I want something. I want let's see, what year was that again? 1994's equivalent of dubstep. I want some filthy, distorted electronic bass drops. And it's far from that.
It is far from that. But, there are worse things that I could hear on a 90s throwback playlist.
It is true. All right. Boy, we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel here.
The pickings are slim.
I'm going to feel bad doing it, but I'm going to pick 1997's Candle in the Wind, Something About the Way You Look Tonight by Elton John.
How come it's both songs?
Because it was this... There was a version of this, I believe, that was like a blend of the two songs.
Okay. The only version I could find was two separate songs, and I was like, I know one of these songs, and I guess I've heard the other one before? Question mark?
I'm really picking Candle in the Wind.
The Something About the Way You Look Tonight half I did not really recognize, but Candle in the Wind, it's fine. I prefer the version about Marilyn Monroe.
I do too. But, wasn't this one the Princess Diana?
It was. That's why he re-released it. So, of course, it was 1997's biggest hit, even though it should have been Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On.
It should have been. But
what
I'll
has
take
had
that
more
one.
Cultural staying power? Let's be honest.
I mean, come on. 100%.
Celine. I like Elton John. He's no Celine Dion.
It is true. Okay, what you got?
1998's Too Close by Next, just because I feel like it. That's the one that I was like, I don't know what this song is. And then it started playing and I was like, oh, I guess I do know that song. I didn't know what Next was, and I didn't know it was called Too Close, but I've heard this song many times in my life.
And see, that was the one, Look Away was the one I saw and I thought, I cannot think of what this is. This was the one that I thought, I don't know that I know this. And then I listened to it and I said, I'm right. I don't know this.
This
is the one that I never heard.
Well, I did. And I was like, oh yeah, that song's fine. So it's on my list.
Okay. All right. My number nine is, I'm going to go with 1982's Physical by Olivia Newton-John because somebody's got to pick it.
Somebody's got to pick it.
Somebody's got to pick it.
It's not good. The thing is, you listen to the first two, you're like, I put it in chronological order because I wanted to listen to it in chronological order. Starts with Call Me, and you're like, whoo,
banger.
This is music, man. This is music. You get to Betty Davis Eyes, and you're like, okay, it's fine. Lots of vocal fry. It's not for me, but it's not a bad song. And then Physical starts, and you're like, let's get into physical? What does that mean, Olivia? Let's get into physical? What does that mean? Why does
no idea.
The words don't make sense, lady. The words don't make sense.
Nope, they don't.
Okay, so
this is real rough.
So it's down to two things.
We got two songs here.
We're down to two left, dear listeners. We've got 1986's That's What Friends Are For by Dionne Warwick and 1,000 other people, which again, I thought to myself, what the hell is this? And then it started playing and I was like, oh, I don't care for this. Or 1992's End of the Road by Boyz II Men. Not Boyz II Men's best song.
No.
A weak Boyz II Men song in my humble IMO, but their number one hit from 1992. So of those two, I guess I'll take the Dionne Warwick song because for one reason and one reason only, she's funny on Twitter. Or at least she used to be. I don't know. I'm not on Twitter anymore, but back in the day, she was mean and funny on Twitter. So that gets the last pick for me, Dionne, because you were mean and funny on Twitter.com.
Okay. All right. Well,
the song does suck, though. The song sucks.
It does, but I'll be honest, I kind of think the End of the Road sucks too. But
it does.
I'm going to wrap up with my final pick because it's all that's left for me. I get Boyz II Men, End of the Road.
Here's the thing. The whole time End of the Road was playing, I was just like, if you're going to have an R&B song about roads, where is Bone Thugs and Harmony's See You at the Crossroads? A good song. A much better song than Boyz II Men's End of the Road.
There you go.
Where is the Bone Thugs? This is the 90s.
Yeah.
Where were the people? Why weren't the people listening to good music?
I mean, because it was the 90s.
Because it was the 90s.
It's interesting to see the current, maybe it's fading, but this wave of nostalgia that seemed to be, we kind of got over the 80s nostalgia, and then it was people were getting into 90s nostalgia. And I was like, no, I mean, for the most part, it was bad. There was a lot.
The thing about 90s nostalgia that's weird to me is that there are parts of it that I think are really productive. Like the PS1 throwback indie game scene is doing incredible shit right now. Those games where they're like, we've moved out of the pixel era, we're into the polygon era. We are making the weirdest games you couldn't play on the PS1, but they look and feel like, God, if you had told me this came out in 1998, I would believe you, until I start playing it. And then I'm like, oh, the games didn't move like that back then. This is incredible. You play Pseudo Regalia and you're like, wow, if only Mario 64 could jump half as good as this bunny. But it looks cool. Like the polygon look. And so I like that we're kind of ruminating in this PS1 era. But the music, no. The music's not as good. The cars suck. Yeah. The fashion's bad. I don't want to see low-rise jeans. I don't want to see anyone's little pelvic bones. I don't need to see no butt cracks. We're good. I don't want to see a single thong sticking out of a pant unless your name is Aaliyah and she's been dead for 25 years.
It's true. She has.
Where's Aaliyah? Where's Tell Me Are You That Somebody on this list? What were we doing as a culture?
We were doing bad things. We were making bad choices and we were doing bad things. So.
Clearly. That should have been on the list. Because you know what would have been my number one pick? Aaliyah's Tell Me Are You That Somebody? That's a good song. That's a really good song.
Well, I look at my list of 10 songs and I think, hey, there's 4 or 5 good songs in there.
I feel the same about mine. Like I said, it's about half real bangers and a couple stinkers and a couple, I guess that's a song that exists.
Yep.
But
pretty much.
I'm happy with it.
Very good. Well, we'll go ahead and wrap it up here then. As I said, this time of year, we thought we'd just do some things a little bit more low key, a little bit more fun and silly. And we'll be back again in another 2 weeks, probably. We'll figure out what we're doing around the New Year holiday week. We'll figure something out. But until then, thanks for listening, and go ahead, leave us a review, share it with somebody, get somebody to subscribe if they haven't. If you haven't and you just happen to come across us, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and we'll be back in 2 weeks.
See ya.